Let's see how this works. All right. So wait for the screen to come up. And I believe we should be seeing this live in just a moment. I'll need to turn down the video, turn down the audio. Screen come up. There we go. Now, hey, Mañana no Mas listeners, how are you? I am coming to you live through Zoom once again today. This is my second live today. So I had just an amazing day. And from a Mañana no Mas point of view perspective, I wanted to share that with people that, follow and things like that, and hopefully be an inspiration to people that are looking to do the same kind of thing that I've been doing. I've been working at home out of a workstation doing these Zoom calls. Today is just a perfect day of a perfect storm of what can happen when things go right. Early this morning, I had a meeting set up with Scoshi Fay. I got to practice saying her name correctly because it's spelled a little differently. But I already got that one edited and that's posted up. So I've got that. The audio was on Anchor. So that goes out to 14 different channels for a podcast. And the video podcast is on the Mañana no Mas YouTube channel and also posted to the site that I have for fixed operations for service writers and service managers. And that video podcast is already made available there. Also posted it to LinkedIn. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see it there. That was one thing. The next thing I did on Zoom was I did a coaching call live one-on-one with one of my dealers. And, we're doing some fixed operations training online. We do service writers, service managers, parts people can come, general managers can come. But for the purpose of this call, I was working with a service writer on the East Coast. And so, we got together at 11:30 my time, 2:30 his time, and basically worked on some things. I was able to hand out some homework and basically help him to understand some better service writer best practices, how to dispatch work and how to organize work in a way that would make his technician more productive. Now, this is not a, rip off the Band-Aid fast fix, right? This is something that's going to take time. So knowing that you got 30, 60, 90 days to affect change culturally in a business, it's really neat that, using a tool like Zoom, you can check in one-on-one with people that you're coaching and make sure that you get them the space, the attention, and the time that they need. And you don't have to pay $1,000 in airfare and hotel to go visit somebody on the East Coast from California. You can do it right through Zoom. Now, once this client gets up to a certain level of performance and understanding and culture built at their facility, at that point, it may be justified for me to fly out there and spend a few days and take things to the next level. But to get, where I think we can get online, really 30, 60, 90 days working within the program at Mañana no Mas, I don't see why we can't get to that level remotely. So using Zoom for that tool was awesome. Now, fast forward to this evening. It's just after, it's almost 6:00 p.m. here in California. And so at 4:30, I had another meeting on Zoom. So that's 3 Zoom meetings in one day. One for a podcast, one for a coaching call, and then the second one for a podcast. The first podcast was fixed operations oriented. That was working with a tire expert and getting that information for service writers and service managers to put into my fixed operations channel. My second podcast that I recorded today that I'll probably have edited by Monday or Tuesday, that was with a stand-up comedian that does corporate coaching on using humor in the workplace to increase productivity. And I am super, super thrilled to have had Greg on for the show. And I'll be editing that show down and getting that launched either Monday or Tuesday. It'll be part of my Tuesday newsletter that goes out, and was super thrilled to get that done. Now, that is a full day of work. And to be able to do that from home, remotely, professionally, and have that happen was just such a blessing. And the next blessing that I want to talk about and share is on a more personal level. I left Suzuki, had a great benefits package, left Suzuki, and I got to figure out how am I going to take care of my family and their medical concerns moving forward. To stay on Cobra was, something like $1,500 or $1,800 a month. And that's not going to happen, without consistent, sustainable revenue coming in through the, the back door, front door, whatever door you want to use. So, we started looking around, looking at different options, and Metashare is something that's come up routinely on different radio programs and stuff like that, you'll hear an ad for Medi-Share, a Christian organization that shares the expenses through the community, and also counts for the Affordable Care Act so that I don't get dinged on my taxes. And so I looked it up for the family, and I can't remember the exact number because we got to the point where you had to pick a care provider, and we as a family we didn't choose a care provider yet, so I closed out that window. But it was something like $550 or $575 a month for a family of four on there in our current situation. And I was really blown away because here you are looking at something, through Kaiser and through, Aetna was another one that Suzuki had used. And, it's $1,500, $1,600, $1,800 a month to be on these programs, take care of your family. And, this is substantially less. And looking at the possibility of maybe being self-employed going forward and having to come up with healthcare from somewhere, this definitely seems like a workable option. So I wanted to, and this kind of relates to what Mañana No Más teaches and part of the speaker summit that I went to last week. Businesses that communicate or do well in communicating with people and meeting their needs and meeting them where they're at. I wanted to share with you what Medi-Share did. I had to fill out the thing online, right? So name, email, phone number, blah, 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 to get a PDF with more information, right? So that's their lead generator. And I got a phone call and I answered it, and it was the Medi-Share people. It was a gentleman. I wrote down his name on the envelope here. Yeah, it was Scott. So Scott calls me from Medi-Share, and I told him how far we had gotten. We got into, to the part about picking a care provider, and we backed out of the site, but we had planned on making a decision before the end of the month. Went over some pre-existing concerns and things like that, right? And so he's like, "Oh no, it sounds like you're a good fit for us. Or are we a good fit for you?" And he asked the right questions, and he had a good conversation, and he did his job very, very well. And it gave me a sense of confidence in knowing that if I decide to go with Medi-Share, I'm probably making a good decision. Now, I'll be bold with you and I'll tell you, I gave Kaiser the opportunity to earn my business. I've reached out to Kaiser on 3 different occasions, and Kaiser hasn't really given me a full answer on, how much does it cost and what are the benefits, and what are my options to enroll my family of 4 into the Kaiser program as an individual. I haven't gotten a straight answer on that. So I figure if they can't give me a straight answer before I become a customer, how good is the customer service going to be after I become a customer? And we've been with Kaiser for a couple of years now through Suzuki, and I thought the service was great, and I really liked my doctor when I broke my collarbone. So I wanted to give them, first right of refusal on keeping us in the network, but I just didn't feel that from an individual perspective that we were getting the right amount of attention. So I looked at some options. This Medi-Share thing pops up. It looks like it's a heck of a savings for us as a family. And then the Scott guy did something that was really interesting at the end of the call. He said, and remember, it's a Christian organization. I'm a Christian. I'm a man of faith. So this isn't unusual for me. Might be for other folks, But at the end of the call, he said, "Hey, man, I really appreciate your time. While I got you on the phone, is there anything I could pray with you about?" And I thought, wow, I don't know if I'm going to take another job or if I'm going to be self-employed. I don't know how my family's going to react to that decision. I got a lot of things going on right now, and you guys are getting to see some of that, from an outside looking in perspective, because I share this stuff with you. And I said, well, maybe I'm going to take a job. Maybe I'm going to grow this thing full time. It's already going part-time, right? If we were to take a look at the proof of concept and the amount of dealers that are already enrolled in training and the 14 courses I've got posted on the website, it looks like I'm off to a pretty good start. So part of me really wants to just stick with that, but with still having that uncertainty, right? About getting the financial sustainability established through the Mañana No Más portal without having the money come in yet, it's really hard to make that commitment. And so I explained that to him, and man, he just right there. He didn't say, "I'll pray for you," or "Let me add you to the list," or "Let me talk to you some other time. Let me follow up with you in a week and try some kind of like weird sales twist on it." He just stopped what he was doing right then and there, said a quick prayer with me over the phone, wished me a great day, and asked me if I had any other questions, and off I went. And I will tell you, as a grown man in my 50s, to have somebody reach out, and I could tell through the phone that it was genuine and that it wasn't a sales ploy, that was really nice. And so it makes me feel really pretty solid about our decision to go with Medi-Share moving forward. So I'd say that's a pretty productive day, right? I picked a medical program. I can keep the government off my fanny. So I picked a medical program. I got 2 podcasts shot, one of them edited and published. And I had a great coaching session with one of my dealers on the East Coast. So I hope that you had a fantastic Friday. I hope your weekend's going to be awesome. I hope you're going to take some time out with family or friends and do something that you just want to do. And then outside of that, man, just take a break, take a deep breath, and figure out how you're going to tackle this coming week. All right. I love you guys. Have a good one. And, these Facebooks and YouTube lives are interesting because I just get to throw it out there and it is what it is. And I hope that you see some value in that and that you're enjoying it as well. Have a great weekend. Love y'all. Bye-bye. And go up, end the meeting, and we're out.